Like, finish the box, Feline. Finish the box. Okay? Yeah? Yes. Okay. Look. Oh, look. The box isn't done yet. The box isn't done yet. Before the box is done, we're moving our fingies. We're moving our fingers before the box is done. Come on, Feline. Finish the box. Look. Right? This is... Oh! Wait. Wait a second. Did we finish the box here? Yo. Wait. Hold on. Okay. There we go. We finished the box, kinda. But guess what? The box is odd, man. The box is not... It's not perfectly aligned with the camera, right? It's off in this weird angle, and that's because the arms are bent. You could do this form perfectly if your arms were straight. If you were, you know... Look, this is what you're doing right now. This kind of odd box. We got to do this in relation to the camera. No, not this. Not this. This, right? Join the Gloving Academy Discord. Here you can share light shows and lab with other glovers from all around the world. We have an awesome community dedicated to helping each other improve. This is the only place in gloving where you can get rewarded with free gloving gear just by being active and participating in public events happening every month. I have already given out a handful of recharge packs, and all you have to do is be active within the Discord. We've got workshops, concept labs, competitions, and a growing library of free resources available no matter what skill level you are. And if you would like for me to do a frame-by-frame video of your light show, you can submit your video on the Discord. We're only going to get bigger and better from here, so follow the link in the description to join. Okay, right off the bat, camera angle is slightly tilted, okay? So I know it's just a small detail, but like when you have your lines like crooked like this, already the whole show just to me is gonna be crooked. Look at this line on the wall. Make sure to have a clean composition with your camera angles. Just because it's a slight bit off, just a little, you know, small thing. Just presentation in the show, guys. So far, so good, I think.
Welcome back, everybody. Hey, how you doing? The madman is back here to show you all the new movement. We from the underground, no, we don't mess around. We got that old school sound, we can just shut it down.
Okay. Some good utilization of landing points in this video. Right, that could use a little bit cleaning up. Finger rolls there. Yeah, a little bit of a logic, lots of logic things happening here. Lots of things that aren't the most clean in terms of tracing. Still lots of floating. This is fine. Movement, cleanliness is good. What do we do at the drop? Not a lot of static lines. A lot of floating still. Yeah, lots of moving parts at the same time. Lots of moving parts. This song is really easy to get into autopilot too. I like that. A little bit of showmanship there. Liquid is okay. Placement there is pretty good. Placement on that. That movement there is alright. Yeah, lots of corners being skipped there. I get the ideas, but yeah, execution needs to be done a little bit slower. Alright, okay. I think in this case in particularly, I feel like less is more, right? I think that Feline Fine, I gotta get used to calling them that name, but there's a lot of sounds in this song, and you know, testing your cleanliness, you gotta try and do these moves slow. You know, you might see me talk about, you know, you gotta practice moving fast if you want to learn how to move fast. But I think in this case, I think less is more, right? Lots of sounds, lots of movement. Therefore, you're gonna get lots of autopilot, lots of tertiary movement, lots of floating. And so I think specifically for this show, there wasn't a lot of use of point isolations. Okay, and then so an important concept you gotta know, guys, is point isolations. Okay, so point isolation is basically just having or coming to a point and then isolating at that point. So if you could imagine my point being on my pinky and my ring, okay, my point isolation would be right. Sorry, that's a really bad example. If I were to do this pointer and this ring, okay, the point isolation, okay, point isolation would be right there. Right there in space. Try not to float. That space in between my pointer and my ring, that point right there, more of that. We're gonna need more of that and less moving of everything, right? So that was very, very commonly seen within the entirety of the show, actually. Now, the intro was fine. I'm not gonna really talk about the intro. The intro is fine. Point ISOs are rough. Yeah, point ISOs are rough. Even when you're like really good at them, it's always going to be a struggle, okay? The thing is, okay, if you don't feel like you're struggling in your shows, then there's something wrong. The isolation is always going to be present. I mean, yeah, there are going to be a couple ISOs that just work more than others. Like, for example, like when I do like my tuts, when I'm doing king tutting, that isolation is really easy. But it becomes really hard when you have two different hands working with each other, right? Like having that isolation here on my hand there. Having to have both hands work together and maintain the illusion of the grid, that's really hard. And for this song, it's really hard to do because it's a very loud song, right? A lot of things happening. There's a lot of like jerkiness that I feel like Feline had to do like in order to try and encapsulate the song. But that's the thing, guys, okay? So there's this thing, okay? What you feel in musicality and what is perceived, okay? So this is a phenomenon that I've encountered, okay? Like back when I first started gloving, like I thought my musicality was like off the charts, bro. Like I felt like I was hitting everything. I was moving as fast as the song was, right? Years later, I would watch that same old Lightshow where I thought I had really good musicality. I'd be like, wow, I'm actually missing a lot because I'm moving too much. So sometimes what is felt is not perceived, and then a more cleaner execution may be perceived as better musicality than trying to hit everything, right? You could actually be so patient in musicality without having to utilize secondary movements for bigger hits or tertiary movements with a lot of hits, right? You could actually be a lot more patient, toning it down a little bit, and that does play into the execution. Musicality does play into the execution. Slaving music, probably another big culprit to why execution is not clean. You gotta calm down. Tame the beast, guys. Tame the beast. Okay. So like this is one of those things where like you'll see like right here, like there's like a little jitter and having to hit that beat with this hand on the right. Right? So like let's listen. This is what's actually happening. Right? There's like lots of movement happening here. Right? Like lots here. Like, is there ever a time where one hand is not moving? I don't know. Is there ever a time where one hand is not moving? That's the question. Let's see. Let's see. Both moving at the same time. Okay. We're going frame by frame. Okay. Look at this hand on the left. Horizontal hand. It's going to be going tracing up. Right? Look at that hand in the back. This hand in the back, okay, is moving down. The same time, this hand is moving up. So which one is it? You got to make a decision. You got to make a decision. Is it this, or is it this, or is it this? Is it this, or this? Because 3 different options. If you are not confident in what option that you want to do, you're going to be floating. You're not going to be on the grid. Okay? Going to be dirty. Got to be dirty. Which one is it? That was only 1 second in the show. That's the thing, guys. That wasn't even a second in the show. That was only 1 second. So are you doing this periodically throughout the whole show? Right? Is it intentful? Did you mean to do that? Okay. So here, we have that trace up. We have that trace up with that horizontal hand. Okay. What happens? Okay. Nice. Okay, here we go. We have an isolation. We have an isolation flipping here. You guys saw that? Really quick. It's moving quick, guys. Moving quick. Boom. Like, that's an isolation. We got a landing point here, but guess what? When we're doing this whole flip here in the hand, okay, when we're doing this whole flip, okay, pay attention to like this hand. It's slightly floating. It's slightly floating. You see? So we gotta practice 1-1 practice, guys. We have to practice vocally saying ones while we're doing each isolation, so we have that calibration between voice and movement, audio and movement. So here, like, look at the body, okay? So here we have this isolation. Pay attention to Feline's body. It's moving, right? It's moving. They're moving front and then back. Guys, isolate your body. It's as equally as important with your execution, with your hands. Gloving's not just your hands, right? Okay, so I gotta look at this little flip here. This little flip here. So we go from this to that. That's fine. It kind of doesn't work when you see, it kind of doesn't work when you're back here, though, okay? Because look what happens, okay? So we're here, right? I want you to pay attention to where this hand, landing point, wrist, okay? I'm expecting this hand to flip back up and land with this crevice, because this crevice right here, this is the next landing point for that hand. That's where it fits perfectly, okay? But we're keeping the isolation still on the wrist for some reason. Okay, this is what I'm talking about, okay? We're doing this to this. You see how oh, I'm kind of peeking a little bit with my audio. Why don't you guys tell me? Anyway, you see this top of my pointer lands perfectly right there. But for some reason, we're doing this flip. We're doing this flip, and it doesn't quite work. Doesn't quite work with this. You see? It's not lined with the crevice. There's this whole gap there. It's unclean. We go from like a King Tut form to a liquid. You know, not that bad. Not the greatest, right? Execution is really up here also, right? I think one of the biggest things also why a lot of the execution is not clean in this particular show is that we haven't created a reference. Like, there's no reference to the camera. Everything is like, oh, here. Like there isn't like this center line that's close and being utilized as an isolation point. Everything is just kind of free flow in relation to like their themselves. Look at this. Okay, so we have this finger roll, but it lands midpoint of the finger, right? So I see this unconnected line. I see like no connected lines. I mean, the only connected line is here, but because this line is missing, it kind of feels off. It feels unsatisfying to kind of look at when you're doing that execution here. It's like I'm expecting this pinky to line up with this thumb for some reason, but it doesn't. Not only that, but then there are lingering fingers that are happening at the same time, right? I think less is more in this case. Okay, so figuring out, being in that paused form, figuring out, okay, am I making a box or not? Is my fingers lingering or not? Okay, this is a more satisfying form. Don't you agree? Right? So we got to be slower. We got to come here, okay? We got to make one action. All right? Trace or not. Hinge or not. Trace or not. Like you got to pick one and we've got to do them very slowly. Okay? Because now there's just too much actions here. We're going down into the wave tut, but like, is it the wave tut that we're trying to do? Or is it this tertiary movement to the left that we're trying to do? There's too much things happening because the song is too chaotic. Lingering plus fingers equals We have to be more concrete with our movements by implementing more staccato movements. We're gonna go here, land. Go here, land. Go here, land. Go here, land. Logic practice. Longevity, logic practice, okay? I want to see you go up to lo-fi. See, that you can tell that the only point at which there is a reference, like to the camera, are with the whirly-doos, you know? Because it's only natural. It's only natural that we do the whirly-doos. It's like you're whipping in front of someone's face, but imagine if you're doing tech in front of someone's face. When it comes down to just straight logic and precision, things like tutting, there's a binary aspect to it. You gotta create straight lines, you gotta create boxes, you gotta create right angles. There's more of a discipline there. Okay, where like with like pinches or like, you know, morphing, you can kind of get away with some of those movements that aren't quite static. So just a suggestion, like here, look at this box. Like this box right here. That. I know you want to connect this with your thumb, but your thumb is going diagonal and this hand is diagonal. You know, just try creating boxes. Just try creating that straight box without having to think of the movement. I think in this case, just finding that box could be the goal, you know, in trying to become cleaner. Because there's a lot of tracing, but there's not a lot of boxes. Like here, this form right here, you know? I'm looking for a picture perfect shape every so often. I'm looking for a perfect shape every so often. I'm looking for a box every so often. Okay? There isn't a box or like a lot of straight lines for that matter in many cases, right? There's all these sporadic lines all over the place. And so that's just one of the goal. Like, you know, here, and it might be just because where this form is in relation to the camera. Like, maybe if you were like closer, it would work. But I don't know. Like, I mean, even in this form, this is just bad habits right here. Like, you can see that the hand, like a lot of sporadic lines. There's no straight like angles. Just go slow, straight angles. like even when we're in like a box like this, right? Like it's not clean because of the angle that it's in related to in relation to the camera, right? It's like all kind of off to the side over here. Like here, look. Like finish the box, Feline. Finish the box. Okay? Yeah? Yes. Okay. Look. Oh, look. The box isn't done yet. The box isn't done yet. Before the box is done, we're moving our fingies. We're moving our fingers before the box is done. Come on, Feline. Finish the box. Look. Right? This is... Oh! Wait. Wait a second. Did we finish the box here? Yo. Wait. Hold on. Okay. There we go. We finished the box, kinda. But guess what? The box is odd, man. The box is not... It's not perfectly aligned with the camera, right? It's off in this weird angle, and that's because the arms are bent. You could do this form perfectly if your arms were straight. If you were, you know... Look, this is what you're doing right now. This kind of odd box. We got to do this in relation to the camera. No, not this. Not this. This, right? We're giving the camera a light show. We're not giving a light show and the camera's recording. We're giving the camera a light show, right? So here, look. So here, lots of things happening. You want to trace. You want to trace to the top of your fingers here, or you know, like, and I get it. This part of this part is really hard. Like getting from here, having to do this with the trace to trace up, you know, to the tip, to the trace to the other side, to there, right? Rather than just kind of like there, you know. Discipline. You could break down your show into so many different new sequences and parts if you just committed to that angle and you really thought about your lines. Boom. Boom. You know, it's a lot of work. You know, but that's a thing. It is a lot of work. But that's how we get better, is just putting in those work. Because things that are hard gets easier. But yeah, that's pretty much the entirety of the show. I'm not gonna point out every single execution error because there's a lot of execution errors sprinkled everywhere. Okay. Practice just staying in like one hand in a static form. Just practice one hand in a static form and then looking at the lines and then being like, okay, where's that to the camera? Boom. Okay, that's the line. That's the line. Look at where the lines meet. Being perfect with the lines. Even something with these simple like liquid movements, like having that like nice gentle like here and then like looking, making, you know, taking care of your moves, treating your moves as if they're like a baby. Gentle movements, you know, not rocking them like this. Look at this. All right, what's happening? Is it the elbow supposed to be touching, or is it just, you know, because this angle could work if you're like that, and then you're like utilizing the lines as like a V, right? But you're in and out. Or is it supposed to be... Oh, that's a hard angle. Oh, that's a hard angle. I can't even do that. Or is it supposed to be that? You see the elbows? Paying attention to like how your elbows line in a tut like that. Okay, let's see what happens. We're just out of it. You're very in and out of your concept as well. Like I want to see you like stay in those concepts longer without disconnecting your fingers. Try labbing without disconnecting your fingers. Commit. Too much disconnection. How much times do we disconnect? Okay. Alright, we disconnected there. Okay. Yeah. It's a lot of, lots of crazy stuff happening. Yeah. Might be trying to be a little too complex. Trying to be a little too complex. Okay, yeah, I think this is just periodically another show. Okay, so basically, this is my homework for you, Feline Fine. I want to see you throw a slow light show with good, basic tutting fundamentals. You don't got to do like a bunch of crazy tech, right? Which I know Feline Fine has lots of crazy tech, but I want to see what the simple version of this show looks like. If it could even be clean or not, okay? Baby steps, baby steps. Sometimes we got to go back to the basics and work our way up again. I've done this many different times where I'm like, okay, I'm getting kind of ahead of myself. Can I even do this proper? I want to see a proper one. A proper one with good use of space, good camera angle, okay, and good pacing. Because I feel like speed is a big part of why you're not clean, music choice not clean, and maybe, who knows, maybe we just need to do a little bit of ironing out with just the basics of tutting and tracing and isolations and things like that. So yeah, that's my homework for this one. If you're looking for whites, batteries, skins, or any other gloving accessory, head on over to glow-leds.com and don't forget to use my code AlohaNation for 10% off. Big shoutouts to all current Gloving Academy Patreon subscribers. Thank you so much for all the support. Seriously, guys. The Patreon's got weekly educational and never-before-seen content, so if you want to take your gloving to the next level and learn from me, come join the Gloving Academy Patreon.